Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I hope you are learning very well. So we've already covered chapter 1 of computer science and Symphony. Now we'll be coming to chapter 2, which is communication. Okay, chapter 2. It's actually more about networking, okay, how we communicate in our daily lives when we call one calls the second. So what are the layers and what are the connections between them? So as we'll be studying that. Hope you all have studied. Yeah, hope you all have studied the like O level or somewhere and you must have studied some background of this. Okay, some contextual knowledge you must be having for this. So we when we go, so by the end of the chapter at least we'll be having the whole all of the knowledge. We may be skipping something so that they can be understood later better. So if any questions that are there you need to ask, so without any hesitation, without being reluctant, you should just ask away in the comment box. Okay, or you can email me even. So let's start with the first with 2.1 networks including the internet. Okay, so I think first we should understand what exactly network is. Okay, like what what a network is. Okay, uh, we need to understand that if I want, if device A wants to send a message to device B, they need to be somehow connected. Okay, for example, if I am like I have a person sitting next to me 5 meters away from me. Okay, if I want to say something to him, okay, so I need to talk to him. I'll speak to him. I'll say hi. So that the medium between us is the air. Okay, the particles that transfer my sound to him, the vibration that transfer the vibrations to him. Okay, and then he listens my voice. Okay, the same we need for the internet as well. Now, internet, computer A wants to talk to computer B. What do they need? They need a connection in the middle. Okay. So, for example, if in a boardroom there are 50 people sitting, they all need to talk to each other. So they all can talk to each other through the air, through the air particles that allow them to talk to each other, that allow the vibrations to pass through each other. Okay. So network is also the same thing. For example, five people are sitting. For example, there's an office, okay, and five people are sitting. So one makes a draft, okay, draft of the for example graphic design. Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, then he sends it to the second person, okay, who actually analyzes that and makes some components and makes the small designs that are needed. Okay, then that person sends his work to the third person who makes that final design, you can say. Okay, so now they are communicating between them. Okay, and while sending they need some path through them. Okay, so that the first person can send to the second can send to the third. Okay, so that actually network is, but they should somehow be connected to each other. Okay, so we'll be studying that. If you didn't get it so well, when we actually practically learn it, okay, when we see the examples, so it will be way easier for us. Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim candidate should be able to show understanding of the purpose and benefits of networking devices. Okay, now networking, there are lots of networking devices. Okay, whether when we create a network, so whether we create a connection among us. Okay, so what devices do we use? Okay, so those devices surely they have benefits, and why do we use them? That's why they have some purpose. Okay, the purpose is the key to the use. Okay, so we will in for that detail we will be learning when we go for the devices. There are so many there are devices, the full section of devices here out there ahead of the chapter. Okay, so when we study the devices, with every device we'll be learning the purpose and benefit of the device. Okay, so that we can cover this first point as well, and at the end of the chapter and the day we will come back to this point, and we will also see, we'll make sure we have done this point. Okay, so we can still see some example of the network devices because we have already studied something in O levels and or IGSCs or secondary school. Okay, so for example, router, we have learned in secondary school that a router routes the packets. With packet switching, we learned that a router routes the packets from router A to router B, okay, from one person to the other person, okay, and it has many other functions like having the IP address table, assigning the private IP addresses, and lots of things. Okay, so these are the purposes. What are the benefits of it? For example, when it assigns the private IP addresses, so that but the benefit of the private IP address that the device cannot be found on the internet. Okay, so such things will be doing that. Normal gateway, what gateway does? Card for NIC card allows computer to be connected to the internet. Okay, to be identified. Switches, they allow many devices to be connected, okay, together for one for for one common purpose. Okay, so don't worry if you don't have any contextual knowledge of this. We will be getting that soon, inshallah. Very good. Okay, so actually the main topic at the basis of this chapter starts now. The internets, like how what different kinds of networks we can have. Okay, so first I said show understanding of the characteristics of LAN, local area network, and a WAN, wide area network. Okay, so now what is a local area network? From the it's actually called LAN. Okay, for the abbreviation. So from the basic, this you can understand the full form of it, local area network. What is it? Like it it is very limited to a geographical area. For example, in an office, in a building, for example, you must be having a computer lab in your school, okay? So all the computers they can share messages, emails, and other files between them among them. Okay, so that is limited to a geographical area. Okay, so when they ask you in the paper what is a local area network, what is a land, the characteristics of lands are that it is limited to a geographical area. The if we are that land is now let's understand from the very basics. Network is a connection of devices. Local area network is connection of devices in a very limited area. Okay, मतलब all the devices in your school, in your university campus are connected together. Okay, so that connection is called that connection that network is called the local local area network because it consists of limited area, limited geographical area. Okay, so, and what is WAN? If you compare it to WAN, we may understand it better. WAN is wide area network. Now, what is wide area network? Now, that was local area, but it consists of the around what areas. Okay. Now, wide area network consists of continents, even the world, two continents, countries. Okay. So that makes wide area network. Okay. I mean that the connection of devices, the network of devices that is that is prevailed over a wide area that is consisted on a wide area. Okay, so this is the actual difference between them. Their you know they reach out. For example, the local area network, the LAN, it reaches out maximum to a building, okay, or well, a campus even, okay, and but a WAN may consist of countries, even continents in it, okay, well, the whole world may be connected together, it's connected together so that, with by a WAN, okay. So we need to understand how LAN and WANs are made up, okay. We all got the basic understanding of it, okay. Now see this node 1 and node 2, okay. Node, actually, what is a node? You can say computer, we should even write it here so that we have no confusion at all. Okay, now node is node 1, it's actually a device, okay. Now computer A, B, C, D. Node 1 is computer A, B, C, D, okay. Now they all are connected to each other through some channel, through wires, okay. Well, node 1 can send a message to 2, then 2 can send to 3, 4. Oh, I sorry, got wrong. Okay, node 3 then to node 4, and node 4 to node 2, node 1 to node 3. Okay, the connection, how is that made up, that we'll see, but they all are connected to each other. So this is an example of LAN, local area network. Okay, so for example, we have one device in the principal office, the second in the library, and third in the media lab, okay, and the fourth in the in some other office, okay, the warden office even. So they all are connected to each other. Those the faculty members, they can talk to each other through because they are connected to each other in a network. Okay, so that's called a LAN. They are limited to one geographical area. Okay, so that's why For example, if hostel warden walks out, okay, in a break, walks out of the building, he is disconnected from that internet. Okay, he's no connected to the internet, so now he cannot send messages to that internet. Okay, but for example, if he is connected to some other network, then he can send messages that we will see how. Now, this is called local area network. Okay, LAN. This is the same, exactly the same thing. Okay, yes. Now come here. Now, what is a man? Okay, it's actually not in syllabus, but a little external knowledge to help us understand better. Now, man is the same thing. The network, a network of other networks. Okay, a, a larger network, a larger network, a type of network is made from smaller networks. For example, man is it consists. It is made up of like cities or even some provinces or some state. Okay, so for example, the whole of Punjab may have one man. Okay, whole of Lahore may have one man. Okay, metropolitan area network it's called. Okay, so in this many LANs are connected together. Now one LAN was of the university campus. Some university, just take it for example, all the LANs connected together. Let's talk about man, let's keep man a little smaller. Man is, for example, you can say the one university name, for example, just take any of them. That's okay. Next university. Okay, so now in this is a LAN that connects the that that connects all the devices in the auditorium. Okay, that in the Junod auditorium, whichever is that the in that auditorium, and this is one is in all the dormitories, all the hostels. Okay, and this is all the mess. Now, how does a person sitting in mess can talk to a person sitting the in the auditorium? Okay, so he sends messages. If he can send messages to it, they can send messages to among themselves. Okay, then this these both networks are connected together. So this any device from this network can connect to this network. Okay, then this any device from this either of these networks can connect to this network. So that means the whole of the whole of all the devices in the next university, they can actually talk to each other. Okay, by connection of smaller LANs. Okay, that make up man. Okay, now there's something even bigger than man. Okay, that is called WAN. Okay, it's quite hard to read it. Okay, okay. Now, for example, this is Nash University. This is, for example, the rest of Lahore. The way the rest of Islamabad. Okay, and this is the headquarters. For example, this okay. Let's come. This is Murray. Okay, so this they all a person sitting in auditorium of auditorium of Nest Cottage. How come he talk to a person sitting far away in Murray? So he sends a message through he sends a message, and that message first comes sees any device. How does that do? How does a message pass? That we'll do that later forward later on. But for now, we need to understand that they all are connected. This all man was connected to each other. The whole of Indus University was connected to each other. Like all the devices that they were connected to each other. And now that Indus University is connected to all the Islamabad. Okay, and then Islamabad is also connected to Murray. So they can all share messages between them. This is simple, very simple concept. Okay, we just need to get it easily. It's very easy concept that devices devices are connected to each other. Okay, and then those connection devices make one network. Then those networks make up another bigger network called man. Okay, then those mans make up bigger network called WAN that can stretch out to countries, continents, or even the world.